Hey guys, John at CES Motorsport, and we have a treat for you today. I'd like to show off this 1998 E36 M3. This one has a custom turbo system installed on it, a built M52 motor, and what's special about it is actually running our old Steed-Speed V2 kit. So we are a little bit partial to this one because it is running kind of a hybrid version of one of our single turbo systems. This one has a Borg Warner 8374 EFR turbo strapped to it. So really nice setup on this car. This customer that owns this car is actually selling it to someone else, so he's gotten his full enjoyment out of it, but he's the one that put this car together, so I have to give him a special fist bump for creating such a masterpiece of a build. I mean, this thing is pretty sick. We're going to go over some of the details of it just to show you the ins and outs of it, and then we actually have some dyno info to share with you too, just so you guys can see what it ended up putting down and how we're going to send it off to the new owner. Got the dyno data we'd like to show you guys after the dyno session has been completed. This particular car, we wanted to set up on wastegate spring pressure and then also on a higher PSI pressure on 93 octane. This car originally came in with a built motor wanting an E-blend tune, and we had done some E70 tuning on it, which we're going to show you later, just so you can satisfy your curiosity what this car used to be making. But now that the owner is selling the vehicle, the new owner wanted to have a pump gas tune on the car only, so we kind of detuned it back down to 93 octane levels. First graph that you see in blue is actually the wastegate spring pressure that the car is running now. Still a solid 414 at the wheels and about 340 torque. Very nice, easy daily power for just wastegate spring. And then we turned it up to about 17 PSI or so on the higher boost setting, over 500 wheel horsepower, about 512-ish, and about 450 torque. So really nice wheel horsepower numbers for the E36 platform. And these numbers back in the day were rolling out with these cars being a little bit over 3,200 pounds. So that was quick back in the day. Still quick today. Spool really nice, 8374 EFR turbo, flowing really nice all the way to red line. Good spool up. This is an M52 motor swap, so this is not an S52 M motor that normally came in the car. It did get swapped out with a smaller 2.8 M52 build, which does change things a little bit as far as spool up and overall torque that the car makes, just because the literage is a little bit down from the 3.2 versus the 2.8. But the turbo more than makes up for it, as you can see here, and just excellent overall numbers. The new owners should be extremely happy with these results. All right, so getting back into this one, for everybody who was interested in what the car was putting down on the E70 blend, these are the numbers right here. A little bit over 640 wheel horsepower and around 600 wheel torque. So definitely a quite a big jump from what we were doing just on the pump gas tuning. So if you decided you wanted to build a car like this and turn her up with extra octane, a lot of times we used to be doing this with meth injection, but now with ethanol being so readily available, we decided to do this tuning with them. I think this was an 80-pound injector tune with a single upgraded like 525 pump in the tank to get these numbers. Don't quote me on that though, because it's been a few years since we did this build. That was back in 2020, guys. So just to give you another tidbit of information on how long this car has actually been together and running with this setup and our manifold and Nick G tuning. We did forget to mention that this is a Nick G tune car. So since the beginning, when this car came in, even when it was 93 tuned with the S52 motor, these numbers were back from January of 2020. One other thing I can highlight for all you guys data junkies out there, this setup right here is the difference between an M52 and an S52. So for those of you that wanted to kind of see what liters do in giving you extra power, this is a perfect example, because this car came in with a stock motor S52 when we first tuned it many years ago, and then he came back in years later with the built motor to do the E70 tuning, and now that we're detuning it back, this gives you a good idea of what the difference is when you have motor builds like this going from smaller displacement to larger displacement motors. So a long time ago, when I used to race the E36s back in the day and we were building our own cars and we had our shop car, my particular personal E36 M3 was a 95 M3, so it was an OBD1, and we had done a 9180 EFR kit. So kind of falls in line. The 8374, we're bumping up to the larger 9180 EFR, still with the Steed Speed V2 manifold that we were using with our kits. This was our own custom kit that we had on our shop car. So let me just give you guys an example of the power that we were making. So let me pull the E70 tune back up there. So pump gas tune, E70 tune, and then we go to what we were making back in the day with our car. And here we are. So we were running about 866 wheel horsepower, 825 wheel torque. That was at about 30 PSI on MS109. That was also with an 80-pound injector tune and a single low pressure fuel pump. So very simplistic kit. OBD1 tuned with an 803 MAF for all you guys that remember all this stuff back in the day. Incredible numbers and results from a billet twin scroll bottom mount kit. This thing hurt a lot of feelings back in the day, and it even surprised me with some of the cars we were able to outrun even at the track. You know, this thing was doing, you know, 950s or 960s at 151 miles an hour with a manual transmission from a dig in the quarter mile back then. I know a lot of you have been asking to see this car and get it resurrected back, and there is a possibility that we are going to do that, guys. We do have a built motor. We do have an upgraded 7275 Gen 2 that we might even swap out to a next gen now that they're available for a precision turbo, and then throw it back together in the car and do something special with it that we'll probably talk about a little bit later once we get back into the build. But needless to say, we might bring it up to the 2020 plus and see if we can run it a little bit faster. But thanks again for watching and letting me share some of this data with you. It's very exciting to see one of these cars come into the shop like this, especially running one of our manifolds and seeing it perform the way it does, and also for the amount of time that it has performed this way too. So it's a testament to when things are done right and done properly with good tuning, it can last the life of the vehicle. Thanks again for watching, guys. Please feel free to check out our website for any particular items that you're interested in, or give us an email or a shout so we can put a custom build quote together for you. And if you're looking for a shop that does these kind of things, give us a shout. Thanks again, and we will see you in the next one.